Hello, this is the Banhammer Podcast, and you're with myself, Hush, and I'm with the legendary
Levi.
And we are hosting a brand new gaming podcast, which we only just started a couple of weeks ago, was it? How long
I have no idea. This is the second episode.
Yeah, it's basically just something that we've started to do because we've got an interest in gaming in general. We've not got like a particular direction
it goes where it goes.
Heading in.
Yeah.
We've just seen where we go and discussing stuff, just gaming news in general, interest, things we've played.
What we're playing, stuff.
And
whatever comes to mind, really.
Yeah, we've got a few games that we want to talk about in this podcast, namely Mass Effect 3. I want to bring up that a little bit because
you've just recently finished that, haven't you?
I finally finished the trilogy, and another one is Darksiders.
Yeah, I just started playing Darksiders, picked it up a while ago.
It's one of the ones that I went through a bit ago. But aside from that, I mean, how's it going with gaming? What are you doing at the moment?
Nothing really. I've just picked up a new fighting game.
A new fighting game?
Yeah, I've been playing playing that Skullgirls a lot more recently.
Not am I surprised? That's your favourite genre, innit?
Yeah, I play a lot of them fighting games, but yeah, just
Skullgirls. Schoolgirls.
See, I always wonder why they called it that, and then the amount of times you hear people slip up and call it Schoolgirls, you realise,
I think I did that myself last week, actually.
Yeah.
You did. Do you know what? I've heard of it. It has been on PlayStation Network for a couple of years now.
They've re-released it. They've done another version called Second Encore.
Right, but you showed me some footage last week, and it looks really good. I was amazed at it's the quality of the animation.
Oh, the animation quality is great.
From what I've seen, it's a traditional 2D beat 'em up, but the animation is so slick. Like they've really gone to town on it.
The frames are spot on. They're very nice to look at. Feel very nice, especially when you're playing and you don't want to drop the combos. They all chain together very smoothly.
Yeah.
There's no delay of any kind.
So how long have you been playing it now?
Just a few weeks. Picked up first character you're probably gonna play is Philia. She's your generic rushdown character. You want to be up in the face and doing damage. It's quite a lot of fun. It has that Marvel vs. Capcom kind of feel to it, especially with the fact that you can select up to 3 characters.
Yeah.
And then tag in and tag out.
Is that kind of reminds me? I think King of the Fighters is. Well, actually, I don't know if you tag. I know you select 3 characters on that, and like when you die, you get another. Is it like that? If you have a character, you select with the 3. If one dies, does another jump in?
The other will jump in, yeah. But you can also tag in and tag out whenever you feel like it.
Right. Okay. That's quite good. Yeah, and they do that on the Marvel vs. Capcom. I remember that.
As well. Which are quite good for resets and general doing more damage, but it's been a lot of fun. I mean, my only issue is in the area I live in with horrible internet, playing online and finding people online. I obviously have bad ping issues, but
I thought you'd actually upgraded your net.
I do, but it's with it being peer-to-peer. Sometimes you can even come across people with bad internet. I've had no luck with fighting games recently. I played a game of Guilty Gear as well, and that had a lot of bad frames. You know what's really
interesting? I can't remember the name. Over the weekend, on Saturday, I went into local game, and there was a game on for the PS3. I'd never seen it before. The only thing is I can't remember the name of it. I just wonder if you knew. It was by the same people who did Guilty Gear.
Arxis Works, them people, because I know they did
another beat 'em up. It almost looks like Dragon Quest-esque. The visual.
BlazBlue?
Something like it's not BlazBlue. I've never heard of it. It's a beat 'em up though, and it's very sort of anime cartoonish in style.
I know, like they did
Yeah, I thought it was an RPG when I saw it, but it's a beat 'em up by the same people as
Dengeki. I can't remember the name. A Japanese developer. They released mangas and stuff like that. They did a version of a fighting game with a bunch of different characters from animes and mangas, and they've done one for. I think they released it on PS4 and PS3.
Yeah,
there's actually been a lot, but the main ones that stand out to me on PlayStation are Persona 4 Arena, games like that.
I know that. Yeah, this is just one that I'd never heard of, and I think it has been out a few years. What I might do I'll have to go back and see if I can find it, or have a look
yeah.
online. But that's definitely by the same makers of Guilty Gear, yeah?
Yeah, because I've heard they're releasing another one. They're doing like the second revision of it. So
Right,
instead of
okay.
it being Xrd Sign, it will be Xrd Revelations. I think.
Right, so that's the only thing
It's
with
going to be
beat 'em
like
ups.
Super Street Fighter 4, and I don't even think I'll
Yeah.
buy it, to be honest. I'm not dropping another 40 quid on a game.
They're supposed to mean like abandoning that with Street Fighter 5, although I'll believe it when I see it, sort of thing.
I've seen gameplay of Street Fighter 5. It does look a lot of fun.
Yeah. So
Doesn't matter.
moving on, I know because another thing we're only going to do sort of like half an hour shows if possible.
Yeah, we'll try and keep it once, because,
yeah.
But I've been playing Skullgirls recently.
Yeah.
Go on. What have
Anything
you been
else?
playing, man?
With me. Well, I've just recently started since finishing Mass Effect. I've started a co-op game, like a local co-op, on Borderlands.
Oh, Borderlands.
Yeah, I was looking because there's like a
Ooh.
massive lack of local co-op games,
Ooh.
particularly ones that you can that are less sort of arcadey and have got a bit more depth to them. But I had
Yeah.
no idea that Borderlands was a local co-op
it's
game.
a lot of fun. I mean, I've sunk, like, I don't even want to know how many hours I've sunk
So you
into
played
both
it yourself?
Borderlands and Borderlands 2, yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, I'm doing a run-through of the second one with friends
right.
at the
okay.
moment.
But I'd say I'm a few hours, like 4 or 5 hours into it. We're just in a sort of early section at the moment. The graphics are all right. They're not too bad. It's got quite a unique art style. It's sort of like first person, but like I thought it was initially just your standard cell shading look, but it's got a very kind of natural, organic, drawn look to it.
Oh, yeah,
It's
it
quite
does. It has a
interesting.
very unique feel
Yeah,
when it comes to the graphics, and it's no game's really done it like that before, innit? I remember when
Do you
I
know-
first picked it up and I was like,
the
Wow.
only game that I can think of that I think has that sort of look. I mean, no doubt there will be others and stuff, but there's a Vagrant Story, and it's one that I've
Yeah,
been
I
meaning to look
have
at.
it
It's
on,
a Square Enix game from like
PlayStation
PS1,
1.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I do
that does
have
a
it.
similar sort of thing.
I've never played it. I should probably actually get around to playing it, but at the moment, focusing on Darksiders.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about Borderlands is when you like playing two-player co-op, it splits the screen into a vertical mode rather than
Vertical
horizontal.
down the middle. Oh.
So it seems to like restrict your vision left and right, but yet you see like the sky really well because it's vertically. You see a lot, but I don't understand why they got for.
It's
vertical
probably
option.
to do with I don't know, maybe some mobs spawn in the sky or something.
Yeah,
And
I
that
mean,
might be an issue.
yeah, but I mean, there's no reason why you can't do that because. Resistance
then, yeah.
on the PS3 is brilliant for that. Like it's got the sort of horizontal split, and it looks really good and plays really well for that. But
Yeah.
yeah, and there's a few things like texture pop up is really noticeable on that. You get a lot of things that you look at something like the front of a I don't know, like the front of a wall or whatever, a vending machine, and it'll be all blurry until you get kind of close up to it, and it does it more so than many of the other games I've played so far.
I think that was just because of the machines and how well
Yeah.
it would run on the machines, especially consoles. I've
Yeah.
never played them on PC. Even I'm playing Borderlands 2 on PC at the moment, and that looks
Yeah,
outstanding.
and if you
yeah.
access the map, either of you, like the players, it'll momentarily pause the game. Very, very. It's like a little stutter. So there's a few things, but then again, is it like
That's
pretty old?
probably with local co-op only. I never had that issue, especially when it came to playing online co-op.
Yeah,
It was always very seamless, especially when
Yeah.
someone else opened the menu. One thing I do like about that is when you do open the menu, you can actually look at them. I think it's on the second one. They have a little menu thing around them that shows
yeah.
you that they're in the menu, which is just a little nice
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, it's quite a
but
nice game to play.
It seems quite interesting, you know, and I'm just gonna keep that as a.
It's like a
as
first-person
co-op thing.
Diablo
Yeah,
kind of feel. It's like a very action
there's a lot of
RPG.
looting and that sort of thing, and
Yeah.
sort of upgrading weapons and that. But it's quite nice to play as a co-op thing because it's just so hard to find decent local co-op games. You know, they just
Especially nowadays,
get
a lot
rid
of
of
it's
it, yeah.
online co-op.
yeah.
I mean, I know the last few Call of Duty's tried this thing where you could do local co-op or multiplayer, and it felt horrible when I tried it.
Yeah.
But that's another matter.
There's another game as well that I've just started, I think on Sunday actually, a couple of days ago, and that is, and you'll like this one, I don't know if you played it, Bayonetta.
Bayonetta.
I've owned it for about 3 years, maybe longer than that.
I played the demo.
Yeah,
That's about as
never
far as I
played
got
it.
into it.
Do you like, I've got to ask you, do you like Devil May Cry?
I've got all of them. Every single one on PS3.
How are you getting
and
on with Devil May Cry? Do you like it?
It's like Darksiders as well. It's that same kind of fighting feel to it.
If you like those, right, imagine, you know how you've got, well, to be honest, I've not played any of the newer Devil May Cry, so I'm guessing they do get a bit more crazy, but you know how, like, say Street Fighter versus, say, Marvel versus Capcom is Marvel.
I'm guessing there's like
Marvel
a lot
versus
more going
Capcom
on,
is
yeah.
crazier. Well, Bayonetta's like to Devil May Cry, it's the same sort of thing. It's like Devil May Cry on steroids. It's absolutely
a lot more fast paced,
insane, mental. And it's really tough as well. It's got this quite unique system in where when you're attacking, it's called witch mode, and as you're getting attacked, you've got like a shoulder button allows you to do a flip and dodge, and you can upgrade these techniques later and flip in the sky as well. But if you time it just right, just as you're about to get attacked, if you dodge, it'll put you in witch time, and it's like the screen changes colour and you slow down, and during that moment you're able to focus on attacks without getting attacked yourself, or
like a Red Dead Redemption kind of bullet time where it all slows down a bit, and you can take your time doing things like
and
that.
there are some I mean, it's brutal, it is difficult, but there are some enemies, sort of like, I'm on the third chapter at the moment, and there are enemies, they're just engulfed in flames, and if you try and attack them normally, you'll get, you know, knocked out straight away.
I'll have to have a look at it,
In which time, that's the only way you can fight them. But you find, like, after a while you start to pick it up, but the amount of moves that are on there, it's almost too overwhelming at times. That's the only annoying thing. It's a hardcore game, I'd say, for like hardcore beat 'em up fans of the 3D style games.
Yeah, I will. I'll have to pick it up, especially it's quite old now, so it's probably relatively cheap if anybody wants to pick it up and try it. So, Mass Effect, you did tell me that you have just
let's
finished
talk
the
about Mass
game.
Effect. Yeah,
and you've
really
been going on
wanted
it
to talk about this
for quite a while, haven't you?
Yeah. Mass Effect, it's one of those amazing series that if anyone knows anything about gaming, you'll know about Mass Effect.
I'm gonna wave my little Dragon Age flag here and say I prefer these. I don't know, I've been a fantasy fan myself for a very long time, so yeah.
I just like the sci-fi element to it, and
I have played a few of them.
Yeah, it's a bit like a Star Wars film series, that sort of thing. But I'd prefer this over that, to be honest. I'm not like, it's all right, Star Wars.
Sacrilege.
Yeah,
Neve.
I'd just not give that enough of a chance, really. You know, believe it or not, I've not seen every single one of them. I think still a couple that I've yet to see in the films. But Mass Effect, I originally bought it from my cousin a few years ago, and he quickly placed that at like the top of his list of favourite games of all time, and then he got into it with like one of his workmates, you know, was thinking exactly the same. They sort of got talking about it. They wouldn't stop chatting about it, and eventually he bought it from me, and it was a trilogy for the PS3. You can actually get a physical trilogy for the PS3, but that's the only way you can get the physical copy of the first game, because originally Mass Effect 1 never came out on the PS3.
It was only on Xbox, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was a problem. It was kind of annoying because I always wanted to play that. I've not owned a 360, but eventually it came out as digital, and they also released this trilogy, this physical copy trilogy.
Yeah.
And what I found was amazing to start with was the fact that, I mean, you can customize your character. And I did.
You didn't do male, did you?
No, I didn't. I mean, we discussed this before, but I decided to go for the female shepherd.
And I did the generic male shepherd. I think I was I was like, I wanted to get into playing the game. I didn't want to spend 3 hours in character customization.
I wouldn't say I spent 3 hours in character customization. I know it's a bit like geeky, but
I did that enough in MMOs.
Andy, my cousin, he went through it with the normal male shepherd, but he did tell me something about how the female performer, like the actor, seemed to do a better performance, or he'd read something to do that than the male Shepard. Like
Well, yeah, when I played
I don't know if she
through,
won an award for it, or but she was known to have done a really excellent performance. So I thought, you know what, I'll try it out for that. And plus, I'm doing it a little bit different. And I decided to. I thought, I know because it's a major series, and they all carry on, which is the brilliant thing about it. I thought, oh, I'll make my own
they're all
character.
actually direct sequels, none of this time jumpy stuff.
And
I think. I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, that started something that really sort of helped create your own personal experience. It's all about choices and making decisions that change the way things work.
Yeah, and how the world actually turns
out of all
out.
the games I've played before, these 3 games, Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. If anyone's like not played it and they're looking to go into it, I'd recommend starting from the beginning. It's one of those that's, to get the true experience, you have to play it from the beginning.
It's like that with Dragon Age as well. You have to start with Origins and then Inquisition. I think
I'm interested. I'm intrigued by that just because it's by BioWare.
Oh, they're very good. Just one thing, like for the best experience, I would say play. Well, play whatever the hell you want, but there's a lot of lore around mages versus Templars. There's this feud going on between them. They don't really get on. Don't like people. Don't like each other. And if you play a mage, then you're naturally more involved.
Yeah.
In obviously that war, and the same for a Templar. It's quite interesting because I did go through Origins as a mage. The rest I went through as a rogue.
Yeah.
And you meet Tranquils, and you meet one as a mage at the very beginning, and they're people who were too dangerous as mages for their own good, and basically they get wiped. They're a blank slate. They have no emotions, no nothing. They just exist, really. And then there's the whole moral aspect of it, and what do you actually personally think, and then it does draw you in.
So it's got the same sort of choices
to the world,
that you make, just like in Mass Effect.
Especially in Inquisition. I think in Inquisition it gets to the point where you become the head person in the Inquisition, so people turn into you for choices. So you'll have instead of the Seekers, you asking the Seekers what to do, the Seekers will turn to you. And it does get to a point where you choose to execute people or not.
Right, okay.
So you have people's lives in your hands there.
In Mass Effect, it's got sort of a renegade and a paragon option, where you obviously make sort of positive decisions or badass, not always negative, but
anti-hero,
kind of exactly.
Feel.
And that's another thing. I decided to go through the majority renegade, although it does become, especially in the third one, it becomes quite difficult always to go down that option because you just feel wrong, especially treating your own crew members badly. I tend to, if someone that's kind of close to me, I'd tend to go for the Paragon choices. But in general, especially the news reporter, there's a comedy scene. Have you played? You've played them, haven't you? The Mass Effect ones.
I've played the first and the second a little bit. The third one I only actually played the demo of.
Yeah, there was a news reporter, and in the first one I always remember getting really angry with her or something, and you end up punching her in the face. And in the second one, you can speak to her again, and obviously you can kind of change your mind about it, but straight away it turned into like a negative conversation and a bit of an argument, and she went and punched her again. And by the time the third one comes out, it was funny because you have a conversation, and she goes, my Shepard character goes to punch her, but she dodges out of the way, and it's just like, oh, you've done that to me a couple of times before, I'm not going to fall for that one again. But then you'll get like a quick time thing that comes up every now and again where you can,
like a quick time sequence.
Yeah, you can like do an additional change to the scene, and I managed to, it's good because you only get them every now and again, so sometimes you'll miss them if you're not quick enough. But I hit the R1, and she goes for the punch again and knocks her out, and she hits like some wall, like glass wall, and as she hits it and slides down on the floor, and as she's sliding down you get like
noise. That's so satisfying screech. Yeah.
And that's the last year of her in the game. But I just thought, that's where it compared to be in the Renegade
options,
do the Renegade options. And there's a few scenes like that, quite comedy, where it involves.
So you've had a lot of fun with the Mass Effect series.
I finally finished it. There's a lot of my favourite one was the second one. because the first one was brilliant. It sets the scene with, sort of humans being in space with other races and that, and the big threat of the Reapers. And you're meeting new things. Everything's new. The second one expands on that. It becomes more cinematic. The missions are generally all enjoyable, because in the first one you've got the Mako rover that you can go around on planets, but
it was very repetitive. Yeah, I remember
quite
that.
Bland. And if you do a lot of those, you don't have to do them, but if you do a lot of them in a row, it can get a bit stagnant and samey. But the second one, everything seemed really intense, and I had all the DLC on that, and there's I think I had about 10 characters.
Yeah.
But the third one, it improved on things like the actual action was really good.
The gunplay in the third one was,
it was probably like
so
the best.
smooth and so transitional.
Exactly. And you could just play it like you can pause it a bit like Fallout 3, how you pause it.
Yeah, you can do it in the Dragon Ages as well.
I forgot what it's called, something time.
VAT
time, yeah. It's a bit like
Fallout.
that, but I found myself not wanting to use that. I just wanted to play it straight up. But it's you don't really meet a lot of new, fresh faces. It's all like people you've already seen, and there's no new races, and it's just all about finishing off that war to end the Reapers and that.
Yeah, so
but
that's
the ending. I know it was controversial.
I know people did say stuff about the ending, but anyway, go on.
I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to explain it. It reminded me very much, if anyone's ever played Deus Ex, the original Deus Ex. It's borrowed heavily off that.
Oh well, go on out. What's your rating for the trilogy out of 10? What would you give the entire trilogy?
Well, I'd have to. I wouldn't. I'm not the kind of person that would just rate something 10, because there'll always be times when I kind of get a little bit sort of. I don't know. Like nothing's perfect, nothing's ever perfect. But I give it about a 9 or something.
9,
like that.
9.
Yeah. Maybe 9.5.
9.5,
yeah.
9. I mean, from what I played of them, there was definitely +7 anyway.
But again, if you've not played them, I had this big expectation about it based on my cousin, and there was all this hype, and it helps because we'd talk about it, The only thing I'm a bit gutted about is I didn't get a chance to play the DLC in the third one, and that was because
it's very
expensive
though. It's EA for you. I think
40 quid if
EA
you want all
are
four of them.
big guys over that game.
Yeah.
And to be honest, they do that a lot. A lot of their DLC is very expensive. But anyway, moving on.
We're already running out of time.
Really?
Yeah. So, and the other one we wanted to sort of discuss was your choice.
Darksiders, yeah. I'm a big Devil May Cry fan, and I do like games like that. So when Darksiders was on a Steam sale for something like £3 for the both of them, I picked them up. Recently, I'm not even that far in to the game,
was that
actually.
£3 for like 1 and 2?
1 and 2.
You really can't argue.
You can't complain with some of the sales. It's great.
Yeah, it's like Borderlands was like, for the game of the year, and this was the physical copy, it was £4.
Yeah, but there's the digital aspect, obviously, as well.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of fun with it. And I do a habit of like normally going through a game on normal and then try, and if I enjoy the game enough, go through it on the hardest difficulty. But I have it on PC, and I did try to play it with mouse and keyboard. It was dreadful. It's not. I can't imagine playing a game like that with mouse and keyboard anyway.
It is a little like sort of, you God of War, Devil May Cry.
It's a combo-esque action feel to it.
And I personally could not imagine playing with those kind of controls. I think mouse and keyboard, it does work for first person, but not that kind of game.
Yeah.
You need a pad really to get that kind of advantage.
I went out of my way and plugged in a PS4 pad.
Right.
Got the PS4 pad working. So I've been, now that that's working, I have been playing it a little bit. For the graphics and the art style, it's cartoony in a way. And I do like it. Just the entire feel of the game, especially War's voice acting. Yeah. I do love his voice in the game. It has that very I answer to no one kind of feel, except I think it's like the Charred Council. It was the big guys over there.
Because like for me, I played that game. It was one of the very first PS3 games I got. I think it was the second one. When I got it, I picked up Fallout 3. But I wanted something to break up the time with, because I tend to stick to one game at a time. But I thought, no, I'll get Darksiders. And it started off like at first I wasn't too sure. I thought, it seemed like a generic sort of like beat 'em up maybe a Marvel type thing, and you know, things that I've seen before. But the more you get into it, if you persevere, it is an amazing game. And what I really liked about it is not only is it satisfying, like sort of beat 'em, slash 'em up sort of thing with combos.
Yeah.
It's got that sort of you know what I mean, Metroidvania feel. Basically.
Yeah, you do keep going back to different areas, and you can get like I'm at a point where I've just got wings. I've got this glide ability.
Yeah, and you will then use that.
Double back, and then I'm gliding places, and I'm reaching places I haven't had access to before. It's quite interesting. As you were saying about the combat as well, it's not a game where the combat is very watery. When you use them powered abilities, it feels like you're using a powered ability. You're doing a lot of damage. It isn't very watery. It does have a very tight feel to the combat.
Yeah.
And you do feel overpowered in it. You're supposed to feel overpowered. You're one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. You are war itself. So when you go into it and you're wielding this massive 2-handed sword and you're slashing through things, it does have a very nice kind of feel to it. It reminds me, like, again, a lot of Diablo, because I did play Barbarian on Diablo and games like that. So I've been enjoying it a lot. The story, I'm only up to I have to get to kill Tiamat. I think she's the first big boss. You awaken a guy named Samael, and it's probably based in Christianity or something. And
yeah, unfortunately, I can't remember. I remember bits, but not loads about the story. Like I remember the names as well, but I'm not sure where you.
Yeah.
Have you? There's a guy, like I think he's got like a Scottish accent, and he's got a big hammer or something. You fight him, and then I'm sure like he becomes an ally.
I'm not up to that part yet. I think.
Right.
I've not met anyone like that. There's this. He's like a demon, and basically, you go and kill this general who's sat on his prison. You move the gargoyles to unlock the prison, and then he comes up and he asks for 4 of the destroyer's general's hearts to sell you secrets to get in and destroy this person. Yeah. So now you're kind of going out of your way to get these hearts. So I'm on the first branch of that, which is Tiamat. And I do like the feel how it's not back and forth all the time, but how you do revisit areas, but in a different light.
I was going to say this. It's not, even though it's kind of fairly sort of open worldy, it has a linearity as well. It kind of always puts you on the path to go forward to the next bit. If you follow it straight forward, you'll always go to where you want, but it will tend to naturally allow you to revisit. And then by the time you get like really far on it, you'll start to realize that it is a bunch of different areas, but you can walk between each one of them. You can actually physically get them. Obviously, there'll be like a loading time, like a transitional thing between each area. But they're all different and they're all unique, and all the abilities that you get, like there's one, I don't want to spoil it too much, but there's a portal gun.
There's a portal gun. Now I am looking forward to that.
Again,
I am looking forward to that.
I'd not played the game Portal itself, and when I played that, because I'd not played that was something fresh for me, and I felt like, this is something, there's some quite interesting puzzles in.
Yeah, but like I said, unfortunately I haven't played a lot of the game. It's just a game I've been recently playing alongside all the other stuff, because I am an avid fan of MMOs at the moment.
Yeah.
So I've been playing WoW and all that.
All right, you're back on WoW.
Yeah, level the fresh rogue at the moment. Having a lot of fun with it, to be honest. But that's the Darksiders is my game I'm playing in my own time, my solo-ish kind of experience, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, I don't really have a lot to talk about that because I've been playing WoW and fighting games a lot. I mean, Mortal Kombat has been one of them. Skullghost has been another. Guilty Gear Xrd Sign is the third. And that just cabbages my head remembering combos for one character on each game.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of playing a lot of different things at once, but like I said, I'm playing sort of like Bayonetta is my sort of thing. Oh, there was another game that I did actually start, it's an episodic game.
Like The Walking Dead?
Max.
Like The Walking Dead in a bit.
Yeah, it's by Telltale actually. It was
wasn't a fan of
on Steam.
their games,
I mean,
to be
Steam,
honest.
it was on a sale on PS Network, like a Telltale Steam. Why do I keep saying Steam? It's because you said that. You got it in my mind now. It's
You
like
get on PC, get some Steam.
Yeah.
So you can get them sales.
I know,
the sales
that's
that you
something
need.
that I'm a bit jealous about, because like PlayStation Network can be expensive. But
That's not a can be. That is it is. I went
Yeah.
on PSN and it was that they're having all the they're rushing all the pre-orders out because with
Yeah.
November coming up in the next 4 or 5 months, or maybe even less, you've got games like Call of Duty and I don't know if it's the new Battlefield. No, it's Star Wars Battlefront, the new
Yeah.
one. But games like that, and you should see the pre-order prices. They're ridiculous.
Oh, I noticed that anyway.
it's just
I mean, you know what I've never
stupid.
understood, and I've read about this loads, you know, in the past like couple of years or whatever. But it always seems that a lot of the games, the digital games that you get, the pre-orders and that, they're more expensive to get the digital versions
Then
on the
if you
store
go out and buy
than
them,
when you
yeah,
even get
it's
the physical
just
version.
stupid.
And they'll retain the price for a long time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't mind. You are getting, like, if there's a sale on, and there seems to be quite a few sales on the PlayStation Network at the moment. There was a quality one that I was trying. I didn't want to buy anything because, you know, I just
Yeah.
I don't like buying too much stuff. But there were so many games I would have taken advantage of. It was like a big in Japan sale or something.
Yeah, I saw that and
really
I
good
was
prices.
I was unhappy because I didn't have a lot of money at the time and was like,
I
there's
remember
so
telling you
much
about
that I could buy. Why do you
Yeah.
do this? Because there was actually a Japan sale on Steam as well.
Really.
Yeah, but I purposely didn't look because I knew if I looked, I would be wanting to spend more money. And
Yeah, it was the same. I couldn't keep myself away. I had to look at it, but there must have been about sort of 20 games on, and I was like, oh, I really wouldn't mind getting that. Oh, that's good price.
yeah, I do have RPGs waiting. I remember I picked up Agarest Generations of War Zero.
Yeah.
It was cheap. It's a weird game. It's like an RPG come dating sim in a way. You actually play through 2 generations. So you play as your main character has a
Yeah.
son halfway through.
That's a Japanese
And then you
thing, innit?
play as
Dating
his son.
sims, it's like, yeah, something.
I picked it
they
up
do
for the
quite a bit.
RPG elements because I enjoyed the combo attacks. Like in Disgaea 3, which is another RPG I played a lot of, you could use 2 special moves, and if they were compatible, they'd do like a combo attack together. And that is present in the Agarest series.
Yeah.
But I played it for a bit, and it became a lot more revolved around this dating sim kind of feel. Maybe I'll return to it at another point, maybe I won't, and I just didn't
There's
enjoy
only
it
one
because of
game
that.
I've ever played that's had that sort of element in it, and it was an RPG on the PS1 years ago. It was called 1,000 Arms. It was by Atlas as well, but I think
Yeah.
that was just a little side
Like a little side project.
quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, just something like to do with dating or whatever, and maybe you got items from it or whatever, but it wasn't like the main mechanic of the game.
Yeah.
And I did think, I thought, that's a bit weird, you know, but like, fair enough, we'll go with it. And it wasn't until like years after that I realised it was a big common thing in Japan to have dating simulators.
Japan has a lot of dating sims. To be honest, I have no idea why. I did pick up one game which is a visual novel-esque. I won't call it a dating sim,
That's another
called
thing.
Long Live the
Visual
Queen.
novels.
For the
Yeah.
simple reason, I did watch a Total Biscuit video about it, and it was hilarious to watch. And I got it because you could die in all these ways. Pretty much, it was like
Really?
if you screw up, it was very
What's it
adventurous in the ways you die.
What's it
It's called Long Live the Queen, and
Oh,
you
Long Live
actually
the Queen.
play as a princess who has to grow up into a queen.
called? Right.
It was. I don't know if I got it or if someone else got it me. I'm beginning to think someone else got it me. I have a lot of games on Steam like that. And I played it for about 10 minutes and I uninstalled it.
Right. That's the thing.
It's
yeah.
interesting with a novel, but if I play a visual novel, it has to pull me in.
I've
Like
never-
one I wouldn't mind playing is the Fate Stay Night series.
Right.
supposed to be very
I don't
good.
know a lot about visual novels, but there's a couple that have been in my mind recently. One of them because I started getting into a little bit of anime on Netflix, and there's one called Steins Gate.
Steins Gate, yeah.
And I
it's on
never, and I
PS4
wondered
as
why I
well.
recognised the name, and I remembered someone on there's a forum I use called Rollmock, and someone was talking about it on there, but I think it's like really text heavy. And when I went into game like that same weekend, I saw it for the PS for like 20 quid or something. It's like a box version.
Yeah.
Sort of, and it looked. I mean, it's supposed to be pretty good. I've seen a few episodes of it. I've not like got sucked into it yet. It's one of those like translated ones that you have to kind of pick up on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a game to it, and but there's another one as well that I've read about in the past that's supposed to be really good, with like alternate paths you can do, and it changes it. But I think it's on the DS. And that's one of the reasons. I'm not sure if it's on the PSP. I can't remember. I think it's the DS one. It's called something like 9 Persons, 9 Doors, 9 Lives or something. It's not the exact
I've
title,
not
but it's something
really
like that.
heard of it. I mean, the ones
Like
that I've heard on PSP, on PS Vita, are like Danganronpa and stuff like that.
Right. Are these all visual novels?
I think Danganronpa, that's like a detective one though as well.
Oh, is
where you
it
play
Ace
as like
Attorney?
a detective. Oh, Ace Attorney's great.
Is that
Phoenix
similar?
Wright, Ace
Yeah,
Attorney.
Again, I've only
Objection!
know by name, but I know that that's supposed to be like a quite a renowned series. It's another game that I see come up a lot on the forum.
I think I've played it once, and it wasn't really a play. It was more of my friend was playing it. I picked it up and had a look at it and messed around with it for a little while and put it down. It looked enjoyable. It looked alright. I would have to go and invest in a DS to go and play that again, or just play it through an emulator, which I don't believe in.
Why
Use
I've
it,
not
to
really
be honest.
bothered. I mean, even with DSs, I don't even know how you'd play an emulator on that anyway, because it's 2 screens.
2 screens and one's a touch.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
So
pain.
that's one of the main things about that.
But yeah, I mean, personally, when it came to DS games, I did have one DS at one point, and I played a lot of Final Fantasy Revenant Wings, which I think is a spin-off of 12. Don't quote me on that, because I think it's the same characters, and it was like an RTS, real-time strategy kind of game.
So a bit like Final Fantasy Tactics, if you've ever played that.
No, not really. Tactics was more turn-based,
Yeah,
wasn't
sorry,
it?
no, I'm getting mixed up. I was thinking.
more like,
yeah. You mean real-time strategy?
Yeah, like
right.
if you ever played Halo Wars on Xbox, Halo Wars is like that, or the StarCraft and original Warcraft games.
I
like
don't
that.
know anything about StarCraft, but I know that is an RTS. I know it's.
But yeah, there's been that, and I played that a lot. I loved
Yeah.
that game to death. But other than that, yeah, I mean, recently with games I've been playing, I've been not bullied into, but my friends have kind of wanted me to play Hearthstone, which is an online trading card game in a way, except you don't trade cards with people, you get these daily quests, and if you complete them you get gold, and you use gold, you buy your packs, and you get your packs and you make your decks basically, and that's how it is. It's interesting, there's actually quite a lot of depth to it, but with all card games there is the longer you leave it to get involved in it, the more pay to win kind of seems to arise, because not having cards to make decks which work in the current meta, so to speak.
Yeah.
I've had a bit of fun with a little experimental mech road going on, and it's quite interesting. Have there been any other games you've been playing, or has it just been Bayonetta, Borderlands,
There's one
and
that
Sam
I've
and Max?
actually I have actually got a Game Boy Advance Micro, and it's a little pink one that I got a few years ago, just because the pink ones seem to be cheaper than your standard ones or any other colour, probably because they weren't being bought as much because of that. Although I like to call it neon red.
Neon
It's
red.
not quite pink, it's more neon red.
Whatever lets you sleep at night, friend. Whatever lets you
They look
sleep.
cool, but I've hardly used it, you know. I went to a festival like last year called Boomtown, and it was I thought
get
I'll
that
just bring
Ghosts
it
and
with me.
Ghouls on it. Go and play that.
I thought, I'll bring it with me, and it was absolutely pissing it down one time, and I was stuck in for a few hours in a tent, so I just whacked it out and thought, yeah, I'll play it. And then I left it from them. But there's a game, Metroid Fusion.
I didn't play any of the Metroid games on GBA, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Metroid Fusion, and it's very similar to sort of the one on the SNES, the Super Metroid game. And I think there's a couple. I think there's a remake of the first one on the Game Boy Advance. I forgot what it's called. And then there's Fusion, and I've got that one. And I'm sort of playing it in little bits in between the others, but I don't like to play too many, because at the moment now technically I've got Bayonetta, which is sort of my main solo game I'm playing. I've got Borderlands, which now my housemates miring me to play whenever he can, you know, as a co-op thing, and then I've got that as like an extra thing. But I'm happy with that. I mean, we've been talking a bit longer than we wanted. We're gonna try to keep it half an hour, but
well,
once we get talking, it's just time goes.
Time flies when you're having fun or making a podcast or doing whatever the hell you want. But yeah, next week, I think, if it's next week, it might even be in 2 weeks, we're going to talk about Real Muck's top 100 games of all time.
Going back to Rome, I want to mention it because it's a forum that I've been using for like the last 7 years, but I get a lot of news updates and that sort of thing. And they've done sort of their own top 100 games of all time, greatest games of all time, and I think they last did it in 2007 or something. So they've done an update, and it's been really interesting following all the games, and I kind of wanted to drop a few of them. Obviously we can't cover all 100 in one session.
We'll probably do a few.
Like sort of 15, 20 in a single one, just cover them and. Even if we've not played them, most of them are pretty much I know of to some extent we can talk about and just see what listeners think and what you guys think.
We'll do that. Maybe next week or the week after. But it's been a long time today. This is episode 2 of the Banhammer podcast with myself, Levi.
And with myself, Mr. Hush.
And tonight, I think I best go make myself a brew and sign off.
Yeah, so until next time, see you later.
Good night.